today more than ever, you know, everybody talks about, in the business, they talk about the record company model, and big budgets and big staffs and big this and big that and small checks for artists. I think today, especially now with deals, I mean, everybody says, I want to get a record deal. Well, the costs are so astronomical that the deals are structured today where the record company just doesn't get, they don't just take money from your record. They take money from your performances, they take money from your songwriting, they take money from your publishing, they take money from your merchandise, they take. Then you got to pay the vendors. Then you got to pay the video fees. So for today's artists and technology, YouTube, Reverb Nation, CD Baby, I mean, Radio 365, all this stuff and more is available. So if a band is savvy or an artist goes out, you work it, you get a fan base. Step number one, go out and get a fan base, because there's nothing like a live audience to tell you whether you suck or not. Well, that's true. I mean, you got to be honest here, you know, because everybody thinks they're great. Well, go out there and go sing and see if you're great. You know, if you have to perform in a wire cage, that might be an indication that you should do something else. So go out there first, get a fan base. Second thing is, once you've got that fan base in place, then you can start performing your own original tunes. Because a lot of artists have to understand, they start off doing covers and then they start to introduce, you can start to introduce your own songs. And eventually, when you're successful, you can do sets of just your own songs, you know. All right, so get the fan base. I think second, if you don't do the cover route and you just do all original stuff, the next thing is you're going to want to have a product to sell. And with computers today, that's why the studio business is kind of slowly disappearing, is that you're competing with every kid in the bedroom with a Macintosh or a PC going, I can make a record. Well, you can, and then it can also be like a child with a machine gun. You know what I mean? It's like, you got a lot of power, be careful how you use it. So, but you can. I mean, if you learn and you study a little bit, you do some reading. I mean, I know bands that do this. So you've got that opportunity there, so you can make yourself a small product, just an EP, and you can put it out, sell it at your gigs. You can sell it for $10. You can raise money. You can have T-shirts done. You know, a lot of guys do that. They'll make T-shirts. They'll make the girls' tees, hats, keychains, things like this. I think today you have to think beyond the traditional, I'm going to be a musician. I mean, you go out, take your merchandise with you. Bring merchandise. Have a product to sell. You know, and get out there. And plus you can videotape yourself. You can go into a rehearsal hall, set up the camera and watch yourself and be critical. Look at yourself as a soloist or as a band and see what you're doing right and see what you're not doing right, and listen, because you can record good sound just as well, you know, and listen to what you're doing and be honest. I think the danger is not being brutally honest. You know, don't be afraid to be New York. Be real about it. Bring people in who don't love you and show it to them. You know what I mean? You know, other people that aren't your fans necessarily, and get off the street, because I mean that's one of the best opinions you can get. Because when you talk with your friends in the business, they're all going to love you. I mean, that's the danger of it, and that's why when you always wondered how that bad record ever get put out. It's a bunch of people in the room that are all in the record business, all slapping each other on the back. Man, this is really great. They put it out, and it blows. So you know, I think that's if you can get some honest criticism from people outside. You know, but the technology today, it's wonderful. I mean, what you can do with it, and then not only that, you can take your files, you can upload them. You know, you can upload them to sites. You can get on iTunes. You can get on all these digital download sites. So your exposure and the availability to get your music is so much greater now. You don't have to worry about getting your record in stores, paying distributors the bulk of the money that you would make. You know, so it's good. It's good today. Now there are services. There are online services, and my friend Art Munson has a thing, and he reviews all these different companies that offer cuts. Placement, because it's extremely difficult. The competition level is very high. Taxi is probably as good a one to go to as any. They're pretty big. I say go there. And of course, if you're getting to be pretty high line and you're playing a lot and you've got maybe an album or two under your belt, at that point you can solicit somebody professional to help you there to get this placed, an agent. You can, your publishing has to be administrated one way or the other. You have to account for the monies, because money comes in from all over the world, be it small or whatever. But if you're starting to make some money, selling and maybe getting a little radio airplay, then you can hire somebody to try to pitch your stuff. Because as a band, a young act, you have the advantage of not having to charge a lot of money. Because most, you don't want hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like, hey, we got a chance to get in this movie, and they're only going to pay us $500 or $1,000, and they'll give us credit at the end of the movie. We'll take it. So there's opportunity. Even B films, you know what I mean? There's those opportunities too. I mean, who thought the Blair Witch Project was going to, who knows? But I think somebody to help you in that department, because you can have somebody administrate, or you can actually have a publisher that actually goes out and solicits, or you can hire somebody as like a song plugger. No guarantees, but I mean, those are the avenues you have.